MOT time, failed on a boot. Let's get this thing jacked up in the air. You could do this without the tray on, but if you take the bottom tray off, it is a lot easier to access stuff, and I need to put a clamp on the other side. The bottom tray you're referring to is this guy. I think he has to come off for almost everything, to be fair. Here we have the split boot. It's completely separated. So we need to take off this nut here. This goes into the drive shaft nut, should I say. Bolt in this case. What I usually do is jam a screwdriver in there, just so as it stops it turning, and then just whack that off. And then we need to decide what we're doing next after that. So there's a couple of ways you can do this. To get this like draft shaft out, we need a little bit extra room. So as I say, there's a couple of ways of doing this. One of the ways is knocking it out of the shock, so as the hub is free. These are a pain to get off. You need to get something in the back of here. If you're ever taking these off, you need to get something in the back of here to split them open a bit, and that makes that job a lot easier. You can take the bottom ball joint off. Here, you could take the back bushes off, and then leave the bottom ball joint in, and then that'll give you enough room to pull out. That's the way a lot of garages do these things, but yeah, no, you need both wheels off the ground for this because your anti-roll bar plays with this, so it does. I want to quickly show you this screwdriver in there means that once that turns, you can't turn anymore. Anyways, I've already loosened it off, so I'm just going to bonk that in. So there we go. You know the drive shaft is moving. I'm going to take that fully off. Next part, we need to get the clip off around here, because I'm just going to be taking it off from here and then taking it out. I'm going to take that clamp off and then slide the boot off, and then fingers crossed this comes out without too much hassle. That's that clip off, so the boot's now completely off. We now have a lot more play in the shaft as well, so we can squish that up quite nicely. Now, oh yeah, this is another thing on the MOT. There's the clips went missing, so we'll need to do that whilst we're in here as well. So yep, let's get this out. Drive shaft's out, as you've seen, and yeah, no boot, no clamp on the boot end of the boot here, and you can see pretty manky in there, lots of dirt, so we're going to give that a good clean and then another re-greasing. Then over here we have this guy. So these are roller bearings. There's needle bearings in the inside of them, so be very careful because they're a pain to put back together if they do come apart. But we have in here a circle clip which we take off, and then with a few hits of the hammer this end comes off, so it does. So what I'm going to do is take off all the boots. Well, I can't take off the boots, take off all the clamps, sorry, and push everything back so as I can then get this end off. And I'm going to be very careful to not push these, to take these off. I've made a little work area that's okay to get greasy. So yeah, these tend to come off when you put them down on the ground. They're fine like this, so just be wary of them. So I'm saying about them, they come off easy. There is a way these come on and off as well. You see the flatter side. That side goes up the way. The side that bottoms out goes down the way. Once again, bottoms out. You could push that all the way out if you really wanted to, which I don't recommend. So the way this comes off is there's a flat edge that sticks out the way, and then the chamfered edge goes on the splines. And now we can just slip the boot off. Now inside of these boots as well, there is, you're covered, a metal piece which needs to be transferred into the new boot. There you go. That metal plate goes inside. Let's put this in whilst we remember it. There we go. Just to go over this, there is a there's a tapered side which goes onto the shaft that way. The other side's flat. You see it's been chamfered so as it goes on easier. And then these bearings here, there's a side that bottoms out, and then there's another side which you could just literally lift these up. So the side that bottoms out goes down towards here. I'm now gonna pull this back. And give this inside here a very good clean, because it is pretty disgusting. Use a packet of grease in there, and then we'll clamp it back on. So when it comes to boots, you want to make sure you get one that actually is for this engine, because apparently the Focuses and the different engines have different boots. So this is, I've just pressed that in by accident. This is the one you want to get. So I'll put the sizes and dimensions on somewhere. But the reason you need to get this one is because it's got these lobes here, and then it's got a little lip on the inside, which I've just put that metal thing in the way, and that basically means that the end, if you're ever doing any work on the car, for instance suspension or anything, it doesn't fall out, because the drive shaft can actually just fall out of the way how it could have came out before. Yeah, it can just fall out into the boot. Then you can do the suspension up, and it's not actually, the end isn't actually seated in the cup, and then you go for a drive, and then it's, yeah, it's really bad and not good. Ask me how I know about this. You want to make sure you get the right boots. The wrong boot here is what I've got on the other side, and as you can see it's just a universal thing, but you have to do some jiggery pokery. If you want to use them, you have to cut the end of this off to then squish it in there. Just buy the right boot, just buy the right boot. And if you're thinking about saving time by not doing all this and getting one of these glue-on ones, I learnt my lesson with that on the other side. I just thought I'd get the glue-on one, and the glue doesn't stick if you have CV grease on it. So that's very hard to put one of these on and then not get CV grease on it. But they also, you have to cut these so that they fit on the shafts, but you then need to glue them whilst they're on the shafts, but you can't do that because they need to be tight. So yeah, these just end up being a waste of money and time. So make sure you go out, get the proper one, and save yourself a lot of time and hassle. So for putting these boots back on, once you've cleaned it up and greased it up, you can use these. These are quite difficult to get a good tight connection. The other solution I've done a few times is hose clamps. Hose clamps can be pretty good. But whatever you do, do not, with drive shafts anyways, do not use zip ties. They will not hold. You can get away with it on steering racks, but these things spin as fast as your wheels spin. So remember the revolutions and all that. There's a lot more going on here. You need a better grip of everything. So There we go. We're in. Oh. I've got it inside the cup, and I've just got it in there, no more. It's going to need directed in, so this is the trickiest bit. We need to get this back bit in. As you can see, there's a little tab there. How did that tab come out with the bolt still in? Okay, I'm going to have to take that bolt out all the way. Right, okay. I guess I just manhandled it out, but that tab needs to go in the middle there. This here needs to go up, in, and this in at the same time. So it's a pretty hands-on job, so I'm going to get the jack underneath, jack up as I do it. Almost certain that is where I'll be touching, but that is the same as what it is on the other side. So I'm going off of that. Now that's together, I've kind of half got this nut in, just so it can still be pushed out if needed. I'm going to let the jack down, and then I'm going to put the clamps on the inside. I didn't want a hose clamp at all, but I ended up having to. So that's all on. Those clamps look close, but they do miss it. Cool, so I am nearing the end, which is nice. We now have this one here to do, the drive shaft nut. There is a torque setting for it. Guess what? I can't remember it. I just do it. They're not majorly tight just because of how thin of a bolt they are. The tray's back on. That's everything basically buttoned up. These also tight. Oh. Yeah, that'd be so much easier if you had a lift. And this, I know I'm being very privileged here. I've got a garage or a roof over my head and all that, but Jesus, these are sharp. Oh, my shoulders are sore. Dedicated wham. Anyways, that's how you do that, and hope this helps someone. And leave a like if it did. Cheers.